the view today. We're in the basically the light industrial complex park of Beaverton, just off of Allen Boulevard. Not too bad. There's the van. You can see she's just kind of open. I've had a little area of making origami and just chilling for the day. And the best part of today, which I'll get back to and tell you about, is that right there. Doors open and that right there. So yeah, I think I'm gonna turn around and chat for a bit. Well, hey there everybody. Hopefully the audio catches pretty well here. If not, you won't see this one. I honestly had not meant to take as many days off from posting something as I did. Other than kind of keeping a heads up with my mom here and there, I really haven't been communicating with anybody for the last few days. Some big reasons, yeah, others not really, just stuff that got in my way, I guess. This is the first full week, like a Monday to Sunday, that I've actually been out in the van. I think I've been out 9 days total now, but a full week start to finish in the sense of making money and living out here. Had a couple instances that definitely made things shut down before I wanted to for the day. One of the days, I think it was Thursday, I had a couple of people that weren't smart on how they drive just do some stupid things right in front of me. Both instances were smaller cars just deciding they were not going to be behind me, even though I was 100% following the speed of traffic. I mean, this little machine moves more than people, I think, expect, to be honest. And rather than lose to a van, even though there's definitely enough braking room between me and the vehicle that's in front of me at that time, them over-revving, going even faster just to get ahead of me and then cut in front of me and then have to hit the brakes because we were either coming up to a red light or the lane that he wanted to turn off the freeway were very short after that. One time some stuff got launched inside the van when I had to hit the brakes as hard as it did. The second time, if the freeway lane beside me had not been as open as it was, I would have lost the van. There would have been no way to stop with how hard he broke to get to that lane, that off-ramp he was so desperately trying to get to. Instead of just slowing down, getting behind me, nope, had to be in front of the van. Those two instances happened within about 20 minutes of each other, and after that, I made about $60 for the day. I was like, I'm done, I'm out, nope, not dealing with people doing this again. My life, my van, my cats, all of it, way too important to me to put up with idiots, and I was angry and I was frustrated, and that's not a time to drive anyway. Now, the next day, Friday, I was out, was doing good. Doing really good. I was up to like $40-50 with a couple three rides, about $42. It was a good morning. I found a couple of good rides, and then my phone started blowing up. I got texts, and then I got calls, and then I got a text. My debit card, I have no idea where or how, but my debit card got hacked. So Fortunately, I bank with Rivermark, and before they let anything go through, they stopped it. That means that my card is dead now. And with the way I make money off of Uber and Instacart, those are directly tied to my bank account, but also directly to my debit card. Not to just mention no longer having a debit card for the morning to go get gas or food or anything else with. So after finishing the delivery, being able to finally find out what was going on, I had to head over to my bank, get a new card. And that didn't take too long, because fortunately Rivermark is able to give me my actual card at the bank. You know, you don't have to like wait a couple of days for it to show up or anything. It's boom, here you go, get the heck out, it's official. Instacart accepted the switch over pretty easy. Uber didn't. Uber schismed. Because by the time the card was done, I got signed back in. It originally put me under Uber passenger driver, as in picking people up. So yeah, sorry about that. I was going to try and show the inside of the van and be all fancy with the door real quick, but the phone was not secured enough to take the ride, so that's why we had the edit. But yeah, Uber had me switched over to a passenger driver, which I'm not going to do with the van. So I had to contact customer, well, my worker service, help, whatever you want to call it. And we got it figured out, but then they're like, well, it's gonna potentially take 3 to 5 business days before it all gets switched over, which meant Uber was out. And I had done a little Instacart, but not much this last week, because there just weren't many good ones. Again, in this area, I wish Instacart was a little better, because the one that I did do, I did enjoy going in and grocery shopping, and it was fun. But it was also like $35. You know, a lot of them out in this Beaverton area, Beaverton, you know, Hillsboro, Tualatin, Tiger, take a pick. They're basically a lot of the times between $15 to $17 for one shop, which is still going to be about an hour's worth of work, and then it'll be like $25 for 2 customers, maybe if you'll get up to $30 for 3 customers. But reality is, shopping for 3 customers, it's just kind of a pain. It's not really fun. I mean, you're not just throwing stuff into the cart as you go. You have to make sure everything's keeping separated between all 3 of the customers. Did it once, I'm never going to do it again. I've done 2 customers a few times, but it's still just not fun. You know, going shopping for one person, knowing that's the person you're communicating with, shopping for, filling the basket for, making only one destination after the groceries are checked out. It's more enjoyable. I'm not gonna kid. So that's one of the big reasons why I haven't been doing Instacart, is what they are paying in comparison to what I make with Uber Eats. Even the gas consumption under the Eats side is outweighing what I can make on the cart right now. So fortunately, the switchover did not take an entire 3 days. It just took until the end of the night, and at midnight, boop, I was flipped back over to the Eats side. I've made a bit under 400 this week. It was about 360, 370. That's where I'm at. It's not horrible, but it is honestly about half of what I wanted, because I wanted somewhere between 600 and 700 for the week. So that's what we'll be shooting again for next week, because that's when I really do make forward traction. You know, living in here, even no matter how I eat, you know, because right now, unfortunately, just with the way things are, I don't have a stove. I do have a double topped hot plate, but the current it needs is too strong for the Jackery, so I can't use it at this moment, which has kind of shifted what groceries that I buy and what I eat out right now, just in all sincerity. Which is also why I need to be able to get up to that like $600-700 a week range, because then I've got a couple $300 each week that I'm like, okay, you're gonna sit here, and after a couple 3 weeks, I can then buy what I need to make sure things are running in here. You know, if it's finding something that works better with the Jackery, like I know at one point my mom had been looking at I believe it was a USB even operated electric tea kettle type of thing, or coffee pot that I could work with. And if that's what I need to do right now, to be able to have coffee, and find a couple of other smaller heating things that can make actual foods, then I'll look into that. Or either that, or I just save up to get the big Jackery that will run the hot plate. Either way, those are a couple, 3 weeks away at least, and need to not have weeks like I have, of where I just had weird things happen. The card definitely was a bit of a problem, especially how, like I said, Uber Eats gasmed. And then yesterday, Chuck, as we were getting ready to leave, as in I had closed up the van, I had one of the front door windows open, and Chuck just decided she wasn't done hanging out where we were. It's a spot we've been before a few times. It's right over by Mom's area, so she was able to come over and hang out. And of course, she was showing up right as Chuck had decided to bolt. And I mean, when she bolted. By the time I got around the side of the van again, I could not see her. And we had been there for like an hour and a half, and she'd just been out in the grass, just rooting around. Saw her happy little tail everywhere. Come down, say hi, go up and around again. Started going a little too far. I'd go like, Chuck, hey, come on back. She'd come on back, but she just unfortunately got a little wild hair up her butt that she wanted to go back out, and then just made it so she could not be seen for a while. I mean, I was walking all over, and I don't know, I want to say it was a good hour and a half, maybe even closer to 2 hours, before I actually found her. And of course, once I found her and got her back in the van, I wasn't ready to have cats outside of the van at all again yesterday. And in kind of a related situation, one of the other kind of sucky things about the last couple of days was just trying to find somewhere to beat the heat, because it really, really is one of those hot times in the old Oregon area. I mean, you can see behind me, that's bright blue, angry, hot sky. And I've tried a few different, like Cooks Park, and to me, Cooks Park looks like an amazing place. I really do want to go hang out there soon. But this weekend, on top of it being a very understandably popular destination, they've got some huge fields that I have a feeling served many purposes through the years, but at this point it was soccer tournament time. I mean, I don't know how far away all these kids were coming from, but I mean, it was Mondo Monster, tournament or camp or something. Because I mean, there were parents, grandparents, kids. I mean, I definitely saw out-of-state plates, so it was kind of a big thing. And yeah, and all the parking. And if you ever look up Cooks Park in the Oregon area, it's a huge monstrosity with a lot of parking. Wall to wall bust. Boom, 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 boom. No matter where you go, it was just packed. And that's awesome, because there's also like some really nice shaded greenery areas with big eating area, like picnic areas set up where maybe I could even potentially do a barbecue, which is an option that I've been looking at too, is even finding some of the old-fashioned parks around here that have barbecue pits still. I'll barbecue a burger, I ain't got no problems with that. Corn on the cob, hell yeah. But, the time I found that spot, there was it looked like there was kind of a little summer day camp thing going on of like 3 or 4 counselors with about I don't want to say somewhere between 10 and 12 kids. And they were having happy, good, fun times, but again, just not the place I was ready to have the cats out and with that much stuff going on. And so we boogied out of there, and I checked it out on Saturday as well, and it was even busier. And I had taken a slightly different way down and found out there's like a nice big water area that people are going paddling, canoeing and paddling. Maybe longboard paddling type stuff through there. So yeah, that I would love when it's not so busy to even just be able to walk down there myself and go check it out. But it was just crazy busy. So, and it was hot, and again, as I mentioned. So, and we ended up in a parking lot. A parking lot that was it was fine. We ended up back by Mom's. By the time it was all said and done for the evening. But it was just really, really hot over there because it is all pavement and there's not much like real nature around to absorb the heat. There's grass and there's a great little area for like, you know, like little raised gardens for the retirement villa, but it's not a lot of nature to absorb the heat around you. It's all pavement and buildings. And the air is kind of stagnant, so it got just sticky and just inside the van a couple of times. But because of the little fracas we'd had with Chuck, I wasn't willing to let him out again yesterday. I was like, I'm not losing you 2 times in one day. And so today we started, and I got to about $60 again, and I was ready to keep going. I might go back out yet tonight. I don't know. I haven't really done any night stuff yet, just because my body, having gotten so used to waking up at like 4 o'clock in the morning during the coffee era, which was like 7, almost 8 years of my life. For me, 6 o'clock is sleeping in, and there's this part of me still that like by 8:39, I kind of want to be done. Not necessarily sleep, but just somewhere and done. So we'll see. I may just really chill here and really enjoy today here, because this has been amazing and perfect here. And I'm just going to stay here until I can't. Like I need to go get food or another place to sleep for that. I don't know what it's like here 24 hours yet. Possible though. But today here, so we got up to $60, and then Luna, of everybody, after like my third drive, just started coming up to me like every time I'd restart the van, and then walk back into the back again when I'd really start moving, and then she did it like 3 times. I'm like, all right, you are done today for some reason. And maybe it's just because it had been so sticky, hot, and nasty, and this morning was one of the few times it had been kind of cooler and nicer inside the van for about a good 16-hour period. Maybe the old princess just wanted to sleep undisturbed. I don't know. But while we had been doing deliveries, I actually kind of swung by this area again, picking up for Starbucks actually, which is just right yonder, a couple blocks over. And I was like, oh yeah, there's that huge, slight industrial, you know, probably started with like, you know, wafer boards for computers back in the day type of thing. But yeah, so it's a big light industrial tech park, and it's just got, I mean, huge trees. I did a little piece of what I've just been looking at for the day. I don't know if I'm going to put it before or after, but you'll see that. And in all sincerity, Chuck has come out a couple of times today. No real issues. I mean, like any cat, she kind of wants to explore as far as she can, but I think yesterday made her realize that there are bigger boundaries to the van than she's put on it before, because she really has not gone as far away as she has before yesterday. Will that stick for more than a day? Who knows? She's a cat. You know, they are trainable, but they definitely have their own attitudes. Right now, she is just crashed out in the front seat. I did a little filming of that. That's been her place. She's primarily been right there in the captain's seat, just crashed out all day. She came up on top of the ice chest for a little bit and sat up there. She sat on the back of the bed again, but majority of the day she's been right there sleeping. She's come out, chomp on grass for about 5-10 minutes, and then jump right back in the van. Now this is good because I stayed here all day and actually made just a small thing of origami. I'm not going to try and go crazy with it, but this is the first day since I got in the van where I was actually able to just sit outside in the air, in some grass, watch people walk by, even get to like say hello and smile type of thing. Not trying to sell anything, but the cats are getting more and more acquainted with staying in the van when the van's open, and that's fucking key. Because eventually I really do want to hit some of those places of where me just sitting out doing origami close to the van even if it's only a couple, 3 people that get interested enough to buy something, kick down, say $30 a day, well, I'm sitting out there after doing a couple, 3 hours in the morning with Instacart, having made 60 to 70 bucks, maybe 90. That would really make a big change on everything. So that's the kind of things I really am working towards. That's why you haven't seen me so much, because I mean, just a lot of what I've been doing has been sticky and uncomfortable, and we've been hot and unhappy, and I don't want to capture those times. I'll tell you about them once my blood's come down a little bit, and not as irate as some of us all naturally can get, especially when you realize you almost lost the van because of another driver just being a dick. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And the card thing sucked too, and Chuck getting herself misplaced for about an hour and a half sucked too. Not making as much as I would have liked to sucked too, but I didn't do bad. I mean, like I said, almost 400, like 360, 370, right in that area. And I can get more than that, I mean, very obviously. I need to figure out my own rhythm with the van and where I sleep at night. And like, in all sincerity, I kind of want to stay here, right in this area, because in the morning, for the Beaverton area, I would wake up right next to Starbucks and Muchos Gracias. And any fool around here who's ever done Uber Eats knows that those are two of the biggest ones you'll get hit with on a morning right in this area, is Mexican food and coffee. And Muchos Gracias is definitely very popular because they have a great morning burrito that a lot of people order. So, and it's usually within a couple of miles, so it's not many miles. And if it gets to the good spots, like $7 to $10 per ride. So that would be a great little start to the week, because again, tomorrow is Monday, so we start this over again, and we see how much money we can make next week. I'm going to stop rambling for a while. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff. If anybody has questions about anything, leave them in the comments, and tell your friends and tell them to subscribe, because, I wouldn't mind knowing there's more than like 5 sets of eyes taking a look at me. So anyhow, have a great day, and I'll talk to y'all soon, because I have some editing to do now because of some phone faux pas, and get it all put together, then put it on. So, yeah.